Well, there are just 8 days until the 118th Congress votes on its new leadership, and we may have a new candidate for Speaker of the House. Right now, the gavel is Kevin McCarthy's to lose, but there is a growing anti-McCarthy movement that says they have a secret candidate waiting in the wings that could get the 218 votes which are needed to win the speakership. Well, for more on this, let's welcome in former Georgia Congressmen Doug Collins and Jack Kingston. Good to see you both this evening. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you. Congressman Collins, I'm going to start with you. Okay, so this is an interesting situation that we have been watching pretty much since we knew that Republicans were going to take the House. And it seems to be we're getting, peeling back the onion a little bit. We have the Freedom Caucus who's saying that they are never Kevin. They don't want Kevin McCarthy to be Speaker. But just last week, we had Bob Good, who gave a piece to Politico saying that they've put up Andy Biggs. They're going to say, hey, we're going to put him up as a first vote, but he's actually a decoy. We have a secret candidate hanging in the wings who we think can get 218. We're not going to tell you who it is yet, but we know this guy can get 218. Is this going to work?
Well, I don't know. Lindsay, it's good to see you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you and Jack as well. It's good to see Jack. Jack, this sounds so familiar, buddy. I mean, the Republicans have done this every Congress that they've been in control for the last 12 years. Okay, this has happened every year. Boehner, Ryan, I mean, this just happened. Here's my thing. I don't think they actually technically have a secret candidate. I think what they want, and this is, I've just become convinced of this, that they want to show that they don't like Kevin. And there's enough of them that don't like Kevin right now to say, look, we don't care really who else it is. Now, this is interesting to note. I don't think they care who else it is. They just want to make sure that Kevin is not it. And then they'll go to the next person, whoever it may be, Scalise, Emmer, whoever it may be. And they'll all get, they'll basically come in line because they've done what they had set out to do and said, here's what our power can actually do. And I use a history point. The last time Kevin almost became Speaker, when he dropped out, there was nobody coming forward to actually run against him, and yet Paul Ryan became the next Speaker. So I think, look, this is a power play. I think there's probably more than 5 or 6. Kevin does have a problem. It's not solved this late in the year. He does have a problem. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, and there's 5 outspoken ones. They're saying there's actually more that are against Kevin who haven't been outspoken about it. At least that's what they say. Interestingly enough as well, we have Congressman Matt Gaetz, who's come out, Congressman Kingston, and he said he's one of the 5 members who said he's anti-Kevin. He won't do it. But he tweeted over the weekend saying that all he wants for Christmas is Jim Jordan to realize that he should be Speaker of the House. Do you think that Jim Jordan could get 218?
I don't think so. I think right now, if you look at it, Kevin McCarthy has raised more money, recruited more candidates, and been in more districts than any other member of the Republican Party. I looked at the numbers a couple of weeks ago, and he's been in something like 200 districts this cycle alone, which Doug and I know that is absolutely exhausting for him to do. So, I don't see Jim Jordan doing that. I think Jim Jordan loves the opportunity that's given to him holding a gavel where he can investigate Afghanistan withdrawal and Hunter Biden and the origins of COVID. He's chomping at the bit to do what he does best, which is oversight. But I want to point out this about the 5 who holdouts. They haven't built the case against Kevin. And the idea of a secret candidate, Ronald Reagan's resurrection or whoever they think it is, the case hasn't been built. So, Doug, you and I both know Boehner never got 218 votes. There were people who voted present, which helped Boehner get elected. But they could go home and tell their Purity caucus that, hey, I didn't vote for him. And, it's not the way to run a railroad. It's almost like, hey, the minute we won the majority, some members of our caucus decided, let's get the circular firing squad going, and let's get back to what we do best, which is shooting at each other.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about this, Congressman Collins, because one of the things that these 5 want Kevin McCarthy to agree to is the motion to vacate, which pretty much means any member of Congress, Republican or Democrat, can put in a motion to say that they can oust the Speaker. That's what they want. This is something that pretty much Kevin McCarthy has put a red line in the sand and said, no, it's not good. Do you think that there is a world where he finally says, okay, if I can get your 5 votes, I will do this? And is that a good move?
Well, I think, look, we make a lot out of this motion to vacate. And again, at the end of the time, and I remember when motion to vacate were, being talked about with Boehner and others. Look, a little known understanding back then was Democrats didn't like this as well because it does cause confusion in the House. And I think this is, he may they may come up with a solution in the conference, say that if 40% of the conference says we want to do a motion to vacate, to do something like that. Here's the problem, and this is, Jack knows this well. He's far more astute than I on some of this. The issue is for everything the 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 want, there's about 75, 80 or 90 who right now are seething at home. They're upset at the House. There's 150 other members who are sitting here saying, why are we doing this? Because here's the problem. Right now, they cannot name chairman of committees. They cannot hire committee staff. They cannot look like a majority. And this is not a good look.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit, Congressman Kingston, because it is holding up their agenda. And they've had all these, things that they want to get done. They've been very clear about that, but they can't get committee assignment. You think Ways and Means, huge, something done. So how long will they go on with this before it becomes detrimental to the Republicans' agenda?
I think they're going to do it all the way up until the swearing in and then the vote for speaker. And I think it's foolish because right now, if you are going to be a chair of a committee, you need to be hiring your staff. You need to be planning your agenda. And you can't do that right now. So all these things like budget reform or military purchasing reform and what are we going to do about COVID next time, pandemic preparedness, anything you name, they can't do it. So these folks are stalling it. But Doug and I have both had the honor of being in Republican leadership, and we've learned you can't be in the majority without having New England moderates, for example, and then Southern traditional conservatives and Western hardcore conservatives. You've got to have everybody together. It's coalition politics. It's not purity politics. And that's one of the things Doug and I would feel strongly about. You've got to let the leadership have the leeway to lead.
Lindsay,
yeah. Okay, I'm out of time.
Lindsay, I want to jump in if I can for just a second, because Jack just made a great point. If we can't do this for Speaker, can you imagine what happens when we were trying to put a bill and get 218 on the floor on a budget bill or a debt ceiling or anything like this? This is unfortunately a precursor of what I'm scared is to come.
Well, and that's right. And that's why you look at even Nancy Pelosi, like her or not, she was great. She could whip her own caucus. If Kevin McCarthy can't whip his caucus if he becomes Speaker of the House, we have a huge issue with Republicans having majority. It really means nothing at the end of the day. All right, I'm out of time with both of you. Lots more to talk about in this next week. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thanks a lot.
All right.